Thank you very much. And as we've seen these images coming in from the deadly shooting in Vegas, so much to really process and digest emotionally, not only for the people who were there, but especially for them, but also others who are watching it unfold, those who have survived this as well. Dr. David Henderson is a board-certified psychiatrist, the owner of Four Stones Collaborative Group in Dallas, and here to give us some insight. And we want to start with the killer, the shooter. As we learn more about him, oftentimes after an event like this, there are signs that went undetected, things that in hindsight seem all too apparent. But in this case so far, we're not seeing any of that.
Well, and again, we don't know him personally at this point, but we do know there are factors that incite this kind of rage and violence, this premeditated, contemplated action that he took. And I found that working with people who are suffering from anger issues in general, there are three main factors that motivate them to do something like this, retaliatory or violent. And those are these: injustice, a sense of injustice. Somewhere in this guy's life, he had something happen to him that he felt was heinously unfair. And we don't know exactly what that is, but there was clearly a sense of injustice in his experience somewhere. The other is a sense of meaninglessness. My life has no purpose, it has no value, I can't achieve something through normal, healthy means, so I'm going to do the most meaningless act there is and murder so many people.
And is the idea to leave others to feel the way he feels, that he doesn't have answers to trauma in his own life, and so he wants to then carry that out so others feel the same way?
Absolutely. Anytime we feel anger, we want other people to experience that rage, that anger. And in this case, he took it to an extreme and put people in pain.
But it's almost unthinkable that those around him, and we've heard about this woman who's a companion or a roommate, that somewhere there weren't signs of that at his job, moments of anger or rage that raised a red flag. And will anyone, you wonder, in this situation look back and say, we should have gotten him help?
Oh, we all ask that question, and I think it's an important fact to note because there are a lot of people watching who may be themselves struggling with anger, anxiety, depression, and the stigma that exists around getting help for mental issues is so great that there are a lot of people living quietly, dealing with these issues, suffering in silence. Giving
no outward real signs of what they're dealing with. One final question here. We talked to J.R. Schumann, who was backstage in an open air area, started diving for cover, ended up helping the injured into the backs of vehicles, saw things that he'll have a hard time probably processing emotionally, and said his whole life has changed in terms of how he moves forward and goes into a public space. What do you say to somebody who's dealt with that sort of thing to resume a normal life and not always live in fear?
Well, I would say the first thing is face the fear. Do not let this guy win, because what he has done has incited fear into the lives of thousands and millions, perhaps, of people.
Even beyond that venue.
Even beyond that. Don't let him win. Get the help that you need to address what this has done to you emotionally, psychologically. Reach out to a friend or a professional. Get that help so that you can re-engage life with purpose. Don't let this guy win in some situation like this.
Dr. Henderson, thank you very much. Really appreciate your insight. And when we come back in a moment, we'll have the very latest from Puerto Rico. Folks, they're also suffering in their own way. The president preparing to visit the island ravaged by Hurricane Maria. And we'll be back in just a moment.